Hello, folks. Welcome to the very first episode of the Logical Layman Podcast. Appreciate you for stopping by. I would love it if you gave a subscribe and a like. Leave a comment down below on something you might like me to talk about in the future or anything you want to comment about this video. So, what is the Logical Layman Podcast? Basically, the premise behind the platform I'm trying to build here is to get out the message of using your own critical thinking and putting your logic over your emotions when the mainstream is pushing all of these news stories at you. Because you'll notice anything they try to push out, they'll give you a half truth and then they'll put their spin on it and try to tell you what you should think about it. And a majority of people are starting to go with that instead of actually looking up what the facts are and what's actually going on. And like I said, you have your mainstream left wing news outlets, your legacy media, and your right wing, and they both do the same thing. They'll put out uh, half truth and then tell you, oh, the Democrats did this, or this is why you should believe this, so you're not a liberal, or you're not a conservative if you don't do this and that. But somewhere right in the middle of that, they do drop the facts, but then they distract you from actually looking up that fact and what it's talking about or how it could affect you and things like that. So that's why I like my catchphrase is logic over emotions and basically fuck your feelings. But anyways, let's get into it. I had some things pulled up here for you to try to show that point. Uh, here, if you look on, this is the actual Doge um, executive order that created Doge. Now, before we get into this, I do want to say if you're expecting left wing or right wing agenda, like I was just talking about, that's not going to happen for me. I despise both parties. Like I said, they both do the same thing. They want to play on your heartstrings instead of letting you think about how things are going to affect the country. Pretty much, that's when the law should be passed. It should be for everybody, not just the little groups that they pick and choose to try to piss off at the moment or to make them cry. So you need to take the bullshit out of what they're saying and look at just the facts and don't let it affect you emotionally. There's a lot of things that I know are right that they try to do. I might morally be against it, but I know that the government doesn't have the right to do some of the things. So, in my view, I guess you could say I'm more, I hate labels, but I don't want to say it, but I'm more libertarian, but I don't even, libertarian, they have like different splits of their own way too. So, I'll just say I'm an independent American and I want what's right for the Constitution and the country. Um, like I said, fuck your feelings. So let's get into it. I got the Doge executive order pulled up. Let me turn down this echo. Like I said, first episode. Bear with me. Have some difficulties, of course. I'll get better over time. So this is the order signed by President Trump that created Doge. Let's take a look at it real quick. Agency head, Doge structure. Now, if you look right here in section 3, I want to get into this later after I show it to you. Excuse me. The Doge structure is a reorganization and renaming of the United States Digital Service. Does anybody know who started the United States Digital Service? Barack Obama. Now, that's not a bad thing. That's what I'm saying. But the left, I bet you haven't heard of that. If you've never read this executive order, you had no idea that basically the United States Digital Service is merged with Doge. All Doge did was use something that was already there that Obama created. So here we go. They established a temporary organization, the USDS, the United States Digital Service, which was created by Obama. Um, they're establishing this temporary organization of Doge within the United States Digital Service. It shall be headed by the United States Digital Service. The Doge temporary service will be terminated on July 4th, 2026. You got to put up with about a year and another month if you don't like it. Like I said, I like it. So I'll stop right there. I did vote for Trump, and this was one of the biggest reasons. Because you'll see later on in this episode why I'm saying it. We do need government reform. We do need to get rid of the waste and the fraud and the corruption. And a bunch of presidents have tried to do it. But like I said, when the right wants to do something, the left is dead against it. When the left wants to do something, the right is dead against it. Even though they both know what's right, at different times, they will both try to push the exact same thing. But whichever one's trying to do it, the other one's going to fight against them, and it doesn't get done. That's why I despise the two-party system. It is a singular entity made to divide the citizens of America. It is singular. The two-party system. It's one thing meant to divide you and me. So let's get back to this. Modernizing federal technology software. Now you see how this ties into USDS when I go to the next page. But basically what they need to do is upgrade the government's technology. Now, of course, to do that, you need access to the IT systems. Um, I don't understand why everybody's saying, oh, they shouldn't have all this access. They should not be able to. How do you expect them to take all the records from an old system and move them to the new, upgraded, more secure technology? They have to access that data. Now, I mean, that's common sense. It says they need to improve the quality of efficiency in the government-wide software network infrastructure and information technology. Among other things, the United States Digital Service Administrator shall work with agency heads to promote interoperability. This is where they're trying to tie them all together so they can monitor, which is a good thing. This places the prior executive orders that might serve as a barrier to providing the United States Digital Service access to agency records. See, all this is being done under the service that Obama created. And that's pretty much it. That's the Department of Doge creation, is basically a renaming of the USDS services, the United States Digital Service. So we'll get into that right here. The United States Digital Service. President Obama. Founded by President Obama in August of 2014, the United States Digital Service brought together the best engineering, design, and government talent to change our government's approach to technology. Is that not what Elon Musk did? Just because there were some young guys from Silicon Valley. Do you know what Silicon Valley is? That is like the technology hub of America. So they both did the same thing. One on the Republican side, one on the Democrat side. Like I say, I'm not picking sides. I'm just showing you. They all know what's right. They're just going to fight against each other. All right. So why was the United States Digital Service needed? Now remember, it was created in 2014. So let's look at this from CODIVE. CIO Dive. What CIO Dive is a technology journalism site. They dive into all things IT, technology, infrastructure, security. Look at the headline. This is from 2021, just 4 years ago. Federal government is running on 50-year-old technology. Now, 2014 to 2021, let me see what that is, 7 years? 7 years, and they're still running on 50-year-old technology with no updates planned. Wasn't that the purpose of the United States Digital Service? To upgrade the technology? But now that Doge is trying to do it under the United States Digital Service, the left has a problem. Here we go. The federal government runs 3 legacy technology systems dating back 5 decades without modernization plans to update, according to the Government Accountability Office report. They put out these reports on themselves, but they didn't fix it. They don't fix the stuff, which developed plans for 7 out of 10 critical legacy IT systems, but they excluded these 50-year-old ones. Make that make sense. One of them was the Department of Education system, which we don't have to worry about that no more. Which I do agree with. That is not an endorsement of the right, but if you look at when the Department of Education came into play, we have been downhill ever since then, lowering the bar. So it needed to go away. That's my opinion. If you don't like it, like I said, fuck your feelings. The logic, use your logic, people. Department of Education system containing student information, Department of Health Services information system, supporting clinical and patient administration, and the Department of Treasury had information dating back 46, 50, and 51 years. All are critical to the agency and pose a moderately high to high security risk. So, I mean, the Department of Treasury and all of your taxpayer information, and you're worried about Doge getting access to it when it's on systems that are over 50 years old, that these IT specialists say are high security risk, but you don't want Doge to update that. Gotcha. Anyways, the GAO warned the federal agencies that reliance on old coding languages such as COBOL could cause a rise in the procurement and operating costs. So what that means is, as it gets older, the newer technology is going to get more expensive. But they don't care. They want to keep working with this old COBOL language that says right here, operating costs and the number of workers with the skill sets decline because nobody uses it. Are you going to train a generation of people to use a 50-year-old system? No, it's going to go by the wayside, and they're going to have to pay even more to finally update it. Hopefully, Doge is getting that done, and we're going to save the money in the long run. The legacy systems also increase security vulnerabilities, and they frequently run on hardware that the software is no longer supported. So what that means, like when you're on Windows, you jump on, and it's annoying to everybody. You'll get on, and after about a week, you'll turn it on one day, and it says you have these updates. What that's doing, that means that they have found a vulnerability, and they're pushing out an update to patch it, so nobody can get into your system and your system. But the system that the government are choosing to use are not supported like that. They're unsecure. Makes no sense. Anyways, that's the part about Doge and the technology and how it was supposed to be done by the United States Digital Service that was created by Obama, and now the United States Digital Service is implementing Doge. So let's see. Staying on the topic of Doge, Bill Clinton, way back in 1993. During his presidency, Bill Clinton made a significant effort to address government waste and efficiency, primarily through reinventing the government initiative. Here's a breakdown. In 93, he launched the National Performance Review, spearheaded by old Al Gore. Remember Al Gore? We should be underwater by now. Thanks, Al Gore. The NPR aimed to create a government that works better and costs less. Now, I've heard that recently, but the Democrats are dead against that. Again, I'm not fighting against the Democrats. I'm just telling you the current situation that this will happen. If a Democrat's in office and they try it again, the Republicans are going to be dead against it. But since this is our current situation in 2025, the Republicans are trying to do what these Democrats were trying to do, and I'm just exposing that to you. So the key actions that Bill Clinton took, he reduced the federal workforce. Oh man, Democrats, they don't want you to fire any government employees now, do they? Can't do that. It's evil must, king must. But here we go. He reduced federal workforce. He successfully reduced federal workforce, achieving the smallest government since the Kennedy administration. That is white the cut in federal employees. Um, what about their families and all that people are crying about today? You know, putting their feelings over their logic, just like the media, legacy media wants you to do. He eliminated red tape. Well, I didn't say this. He made budget cuts of over 400,000 positions were cut, just like that. That's a lot. Kind of like what Doge want to do when they told him they send in the email what you done in the last 5 days. They eliminated red tape. The initiative eliminated thousands of pages of unnecessary regulations. Also hearing that recently, Trump, evil orange man, wants to cut regulations to make things unsafe. But 90,000, 19, almost 30 years ago, Democrats were doing the same thing. See how it's just all feelings over emotions. If the right's doing it and you're a Democrat, you have to be against it. If the Democrats are doing it and you're a Republican, you have to be against it, no matter how right you think it is. But that's the thing. You're not thinking, you're being told that it's wrong by whatever party, whatever cult side that you're in. If you're in the red cult or the blue cult, you're being told this is what you got to think, and you do it because you're not using your critical thinking skills. Efficiency, emphasis on efficiency and performance. He reinvented the Reinventing Government initiative, focused on making government agencies more efficient, performance-driven, and customer-focused. What does DOGE stand for? The Department of Government Efficiency. But can't have that now from the left. Couldn't have it then. I bet the right were fighting this tooth and nail back then. He signed a GPRA in '93, requiring federal agencies to set strategic goals, measure their performance, and be held accountable. Send me an email and tell me what you did for the last 5 days. Same thing. Key principles: he cut spending, improved services, cut wasteful spending while also improving services. I don't even got to say it. Challenge basic assumptions. The NPR challenged the basic assumptions of government programs, questioning their effectiveness and value. Are you seeing where I'm going, people? This is 1993 Doge. But like I said, the majority of mainstream media these days are left. You cannot deny that. So this is why you're hearing the most these days that all of this stuff is bad. But back then it was great from the left. And the right was saying it was, no, we can't do that. Flip flop. Modernization. The initiative aimed to modernize the federal government and make it more responsive to the needs of citizens. 2019, we got 50-year-old operating system. All right, let's move on to Obama. Again, these are, in my opinion, these were great things they should have got done, but you've got the other side fighting against them. During his presidency, Obama launched several initiatives, like the one we just talked about, the United States Digital Service. Launched several initiatives aimed at fixing government waste and promoting efficiency. Doge. His campaign to cut waste established through an executive order. Oh, we shouldn't write executive orders to do this stuff. That's what the left are saying now. I'm sorry, but it is easier, even when the Republican's not in office. I gotta say it, it's easier to pick on the left. They're just, I guess I do lean more to a conservative side, but I definitely don't like Republicans either. They're you want to say both sides are extreme to the till. Like I said, it's the red coat or the blue coat, and you uh, Established through the executive order, it focused on eliminating wasteful spending, making the government more efficient. Had regular meetings with cabinet members, like the Doge meetings that happen all the time. Agencies were directed to slash spending in areas like travel, printing, and IT. Now, why would you slash? That's the one part I don't understand. Why would you slash the spending in IT if you're supposed to be improving it? But I think I know why, because he created the USDS digital service, and I'm sure some of that money was directed to whoever he put in charge there. The SAVE Award. The initiative solicited ideas from federal employees on how to cut waste and improve government efficiency. Musk is doing the same thing. SAVE Award encouraged federal employees to share their suggestions and rewarded innovative ideas that save taxpayer money. That's a great thing. That's a great thing. Musk is doing the same thing. Focus on specific areas of waste. Contracts. Oh, that's the one they love to jump on these days when he cuts those contracts out. Contracts. The administration aimed to reduce no-bid contracts and increase competition in government contracting, leading to potential savings. Real estate. Efforts were made to dispose of unneeded federal real estate to reduce maintenance and utility costs. Now, that's a great thing too, but why did Doge find so many empty office spaces that had like capacity of like 50,000 and they had 500 employees show up? Information technology. The administration aimed to reduce wasteful IT spending by eliminating unnecessary devices and promoting cloud computing. I do not agree with cloud computing. That's another topic. You need something that you can be hands-on, secure. Cloud systems get hacked all the time. People, all them celebrity leaks for cloud storage. Uh, but yeah, they should eliminate those unnecessary devices. Remember, this was in 2014, and that article was in 2019. 50-year-old system, so that obviously never got done. It leveraged technology and transparency. The administration promoted use of technology to improve efficiency and transparency. Initiatives like data.gov, that was a good one. USAspending.gov was a good one, which Doge is using to find some of these things, but they're just not labeled where the money was actually going on a lot of it. The IT dashboard was created to track spending and progress on IT projects across. I haven't heard of that one. Sounds like a good idea, but like I said, you still got 50-year-old IT systems that Doge is trying to update now. Let's move on to another thing on the same topic. Pelosi. Everybody loves Pelosi, don't they? Nancy Pelosi, the former Speaker of the House, has expressed a commitment to end government waste and has taken steps during her time in office to address the issue. Emphasis on cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. Use the exact same words way back then. Waste, fraud, and abuse. Pelosi has constantly emphasized the need to cut wasteful spending and eliminate fraud and abuse in the government program, particularly in areas like Medicare. That's a big one these days. Medicare. Don't touch Medicare. You can't do nothing. The Democrats are the ones saying it now. You know what party Pelosi is, right? Support for legislation targeting wasteful spending. She has supported legislation aimed at reducing wasteful defense acquisition spending and improper payments by federal agencies. Again, those are great things. Why are you against it now? Promotion of fiscal responsibility. Pelosi has advocated for fiscal responsibility and accountability in government spending. Great thing. Be for it. And regardless of what party is trying to get it, be for it. Example of Pelosi's actions: the Improved Acquisition Act and Improper Payments Elimination and Recovery Act. She applauded the passage of these bills and aimed to save taxpayers billions of dollars by cracking down on waste, fraud, and abuse. Who's trying to do that right now? And why? Why are they against it? Why? Pushing for fiscal responsibility hearings. Well, I skipped one, but I'll finish this one reading. As Speaker Pelosi pushed committee chairmen to conduct rigorous oversight of federal spending and government operations to achieve deficit reduction. Great thing. All for it. They still should be too. Here's one I missed, or maybe it was to save the best for last. Addressing Medicare waste. Nancy Pelosi addressing Medicare waste. She has stated that cutting waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicare is crucial to ensuring the program's sustainability, and it is. There's all kinds. You could go to the hospital and get an aspirin and look at your bill. That aspirin costs you about $50, $60 for one. You go to the gas station, get a 2-pack for $5. But, another program Obama started allows doctors to do that and get paid regardless. That's another topic. But let's move on. Let's see. I think this will be the last thing I touch on. We've got a video for you here. See who that is. But Pelosi's gonna be first, and I hate that it's from Fox News because I know the whole debate, CNN and Fox News. I just pulled this up and it was the first thing on YouTube, so this is not an endorsement of Fox News. Like I said, Fox News is the one I was talking about that will give you bits of the truth and then throw their spin on it. I'm going to stop this video before they get to that bullshit. And CNN is the left's version of that. Once again, they both do it. The system does that to keep you at odds with each other. So, let's rewind this here. And let's hear in Pelosi's own words and Schumer's. That's great. Exactly. Now, like I said, I'll pause that before we get to the crap. That's the last thing I had to show you on the web. So we'll come back to my beautiful mug. So yeah, do you see what I'm kind of getting at here? If you put your logic over emotions and you don't buy into the right and left wing, what all of these people are trying to do should sound great to everybody. And if it wasn't one system, the two-party system, the singular system, dividing each other, a lot of these things would get done. Both parties know what's right, but both parties only want to do it when it's their party trying to push it. So I think I'm going to end it here with that. I think I've showed you enough. I know it sounds like I'm bashing the left, but those are the ones I just wanted to look up for the current world we live in with the Republicans in charge. The Democrats are fighting them tooth and nail for the same stuff they've been trying to do for years. But it's just because they're not the ones that are getting to do it. And that's the problem in America, folks. So I guess I'm going to sign out. Thank you for joining, like I said, Logical Layman Podcast show. Please subscribe and like down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. Tell me any other topics you want me to talk about. Put your logic over your emotions and fuck your